Good morning and welcome to The Point. It is Tuesday, May 25th, 2021. Thank you so much for joining us on To The Point. Those of you on the GBN Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page, the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, the website www.gbn.gd, GBN TV channel 7, 11 and 20. Good morning to the listeners of Classic 105.5, 105.9, and those of you joining us on Party Grenada and Go To Fet Facebook pages. It is Tuesday, and we've had a last-minute cancellation from our guest this morning. It was supposed to be chairman of the Grenada movement, but he has cancelled/postponed his appearance on the program, which means we're going to have an open line here on To The Point this morning, starting the week off with your thoughts and your concerns, maybe your questions. This is your opportunity to share them. The landline number that you can call and participate, it's 435-2041. The WhatsApp number is also 435-2041. Please, only written messages on WhatsApp, and you can post your comments, questions, queries, concerns on the GBN Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page and the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel. Open line Tuesday. Let's go to our first caller. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. How are you going?
Good morning. I'm good. How you do?
I'm trying to be good.
All right. Continue trying.
Yeah. I like your program, man.
Thank you very much.
One of the things that I discover is that since the government has taken over Grenlec, our electricity bill is going up. And citizens going to find that just now if they start looking at their bills. I heard on the last Code-Free program, listening to the program, one could have heard that nearly every phone system from cable and wireless now have to be asserted with electricity. And some people are calling and say even the landline phone, that was never before. That if electricity go, the persons are aged persons, they can't call 911. Something is happening with the electricity company in our country since the government take it over. And people are asking the question, is it really the ownership of Grenada? Are there ministers benefiting from that? How come you said that the electricity bill will go down, but when you're looking at your bill, it is not rising? The second question point that I want to briefly discuss is the passing of bills in Parliament. According to our laws, everything must pass through the House of Representatives and the Senate, then assented to in the Gazette by the Governor General before it becomes. I am wondering, hearing a lot of bills passed, and some of them saying that it only has to be passed by the lower house. I don't think that is quite true. If we don't understand our Constitution, a lot of things might be passed here as law, ascended to by the Governor General without passing in the Senate, and it's not fully law. I wonder why the government choose to go that way. And I think these things are things that we're supposed to be looking at the laws passed in our country and knowing if it happens for the benefit of our society. There may be other things that I might want to speak about for that. Suffice it on these two particular points for the time being. So Blossom, have a nice day.
Thank you. You enjoy your Tuesday as well. All right. In relation to the Parliament and Senate, you are correct that once bills are discussed and or passed. Once bills are discussed and passed in the lower house, aka the Parliament, the lower house, it has to go to Senate for Senate to approve it before it becomes law. I have not heard of or observed a situation where it does not go to the Senate and it has been passed as a law. That is one area I think they are very strict about. Because like you said, it has to go through the proper channel. So I've never heard of or observed or heard people discuss bills going through Parliament and not Senate, and it still became law. In relation to the electricity bill, I am not certain why you've observed it going up. Maybe you've added an appliance to your household, or you're using more than you assumed. I am not too certain. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking the cost of electricity, no, I think it still has to go through a period where the price of oil on the international market, which influences the price of gas at the pumps, it could be that instance. That's what is in the back of my mind, but I'm not too certain if it does that, if it fluctuates according to the price of oil on the international market. But like you said, it's something that each household should continue to pay attention to, continue to observe, and see if it is happening on their own electricity bills as well. Back to the landline. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Alison. How are you?
Morning, I'm good. How you do?
I'm fine. So, everything is going computerized now. So, all the phones and everything now, it's computerized. Not like long time ago, don't mind it, there was using electricity, but not as, everything is different. Also, Blossom, I find the Prime Minister, he should choose his words when he was speaking in Parliament. I mean, do you remember that man, he's a Grenadian now, and he's the white man, but we have so much white people in Grenada. They allow him to be so close to the sea, and he get away with it, and now he figure he should get away with more, you understand? But there was the Prime Minister used. He didn't have to use a white man because we have a lot of white people in Grenada. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I found it entertaining. I'm sorry. I found it entertaining. Take in front before in front take you. Let me scour the social media before I go back to the line. For those of you just joining us, it's Open Line Tuesday here on the program. We've had a last-minute cancellation from our guest this morning, so therefore we are opening the platform to our viewers and listeners. This is your chance to call and share or message us on the social media with your thoughts, questions, queries, concerns. Again, the landline number 435-2041. The WhatsApp number is also 435-2041. Please, only written messages on WhatsApp. I came in this morning, I found a few missed calls on the WhatsApp. Please, only written message can be accommodated on the platform. No voice or video calls, no YouTube links, no pictures or videos, only written messages, letters and numbers on the WhatsApp. And you can continue to post your comments, questions, queries, concerns on the GBN, Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page and the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel. Let's go back to the landlines. Good morning, caller. Good morning, caller. Buenos dias. Okay. All right, let me go to the social media. YouTube. Somebody on Facebook has commented, closing the gate when the horse has left the stable. And that came just after our second caller. I guess in relation to his comment in the Prime Minister's speech at Parliament. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, I would like to deal with the non-recognition of our national heroes and martyrs. Now, we are just about 25 days away from June 19th. And June 19th, over 40 years ago, a bomb exploded at Queen's Park, killing 3 Grenadian women and injuring hundreds. Now, the PLG who built that school at Happy Hill, had named it over one of the victims. And there were other institutions, government institutions, that was named after the other 2. But since the invasion, all these names were diminished, and they brought it back. For example, the one in Happy Hill, they brought it back to Happy Hills Secondary School or whatever, and the other institutions go back to the original name. So I am saying now that the recognition we give to our heroes and martyrs is an insult to our history, to our culture, and against nation building. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller. The one at Happy Hill, it was the victim. It was named after Bernadette Bailey. the sister of one of our former colleagues here at the GBN, Jackie Bailey. Good morning, Jackie. Good morning, caller. Good morning.
One moment, please.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, good morning.
Morning.
Blossom and to your followers.
Morning.
I trust you had a safe and peaceful weekend. I haven't heard any bad news, and that's good for a long weekend.
Amen.
After that, no more cases. I'm very worried after having listened to the Prime Minister in the Parliament. And Parliament is not a place where you can just say anything. Whatever he said in the Parliament is documented for life. It's in the Hansard, and it can be there anytime somebody wants to see it. And some of these things that were revealed were very worrying. First of all, my worst fear was realized that because we are having a truck is passing. Because we have resorted to having tourism by citizenship and not have a plan for development of tourism, we can attract the wrong type of people. People who are not interested in the long-term development of the country, but just to increase the capital. Just as in the case of the shrimp farm. The hotel doesn't have to be completed for them to make their money. That's what the Prime Minister was hinting. And if it will be completed, it doesn't have to be environmentally safe or sound. They'll get their money up front, and they can sell it afterwards to anybody else. This is very, very worrying. That's why we have to be so careful about the environmental impact assessment and make sure these things are stringently followed. Because we have people, based on the Prime Minister's own words, who are not necessarily looking for, he made reference to the shrimp farm, they're not looking for a successful project. They are looking for their money up front. And this to me is very worrying. Secondly, the Prime Minister spoke of 3 strikes. I would like him to explain, and he needs to explain to the population, what does a strike constitute in terms of CBI lingo. What is a strike? And for somebody who has 3 strikes, what are the first 2? What was the third one? Who else have strikes waiting to be out? What is happening in that program? We need to know what are the 3 strikes this man got and why he was ruled out. Thirdly, I heard the Prime Minister surprisingly pulling the risk card, because we all know that it is the backs of those people who don't look as you and I. On their monies, he has been able to win elections using their resources, in many cases, to buy the votes of the people who look like me and you. So I don't know if he has arrived or something has ticked him off, but I'm surprised. I'm worried about talking about people who don't look at us. In the Parliament, it is not a very good sign. So I think that there is so much there that has to be unpacked, so much that is so bothersome, I would say. And I didn't have a good weekend after listening to the Prime Minister. It seems that the chickens are finally coming home to roost to our disadvantage as the people. Have a good day, Blossom, in spite of it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bernard. You enjoy your day as well. Something else good. The 3 strikes. According to the Prime Minister, 2 of those 3 strikes involved the investor contacting other investors, other Grenadian investors, seeking support. That's according to the Prime Minister. And the 3rd strike, I think it was the same thing. He attempted to do it a 3rd time. That's, again, according to the Prime Minister. I'm repeating what he said in Parliament on Friday. So those were the 3 strikes, contacting other investors. Right. Let me go to the social media. Let me see what's on Facebook. Somebody on Facebook. Okay, the comments cooking in Facebook. Somebody says, seeing that the price of oil has risen on the world market, there's a possibility that the cost of electricity in Grenada can be affected. That's what I was thinking. Somebody else on Facebook. When the white family beat up the gentleman over some dog in Fort Judy, a lot of people marched because it was a white family that did it. There was also call for the Prime Minister to say something. Now the Prime Minister mentioned white man, and some of the same people want to prosecute him for mentioning the word white. I don't think the march was really about race. Yes, there was a race element, but it was really about the attack on the family. Not so much a white family attacking a black family, but more the attack itself. While there is a race element, many people believed it wasn't primarily because of race. Good morning, caller.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, this morning, what I want to ask. Hello?
Yes, I'm here. Go ahead.
What I want to ask, if an employer have a right to tell an employee that without the vaccination they cannot come to work?
I'm not sure if right is the word, but I think a private employer may be able to lay down some rules on its employees. And that may be one of the rules that it wants to implement.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Privately, if I'm running Blossom's Restaurant and Bar, just as how I would put rules in place that you can't drink free drinks behind my bar, I guess I can put a rule in place that you must be vaccinated. It's my business and that's how I want to run it. So I think that's my prerogative, which maybe is all right. Okay. Somebody on Facebook just wrote, wrote what I said in relation to the protest in Fort Judy. When the white family assaulted the local man, the protest was not primarily about race, but it was about injustice. So we're thinking, okay, we were thinking alike. Let me go to WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp, what could work with a sister? Somebody on WhatsApp simply asks, who is in charge of Grenada? A lot of people. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Blossom.
Morning.
I'm a resident of True Blue. I've been living there for some 20-odd years. And I was walking in the neighborhood, going past the university, going down to the point. There's a house on the point, and there's a new apartment built there. I was in the company of my gardener, and a gentleman was going the opposite way in a car, but when he saw us passing, he came back. So by this time, I reached near the apartment, and he came to tell me, where am I going? So I said, I'm just walking down the road. He said to me, no, this is a private road, you cannot come here. That's just past the university. On the plot plan, I have seen no indication where there's a private road. He told me the road belonged to named two people, one a local and his employer, who is an investor. And I'm not a student. I don't belong to the university, so I cannot walk there. And I am very upset about it. I am very concerned that this is happening in Grenada. I was not aware that there were private roads. When I bought the property some odd years ago, this was not pointed out to us, and it doesn't have a notice saying there's a private road. And I tried to link up with the planning and people like that to no avail.
Describe to me where the road is again, leading to SGU, you said?
Okay. You're going up to SGU, but you're going further down. You go to it's a point. It will be a point, but because there are no houses there, people don't go there normally. But it always had a road there. It always have a road, a local road.
And then when you continue, it's a cliff.
Yes,
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yes, you're going to. Yeah, but you wouldn't. Yes, of course. Yes, like all those points. There are several in True Blue. There's one where the Chinese embassy. You could go there. That is it.
And it's a recently constructed apartment.
The recently constructed apartment, but the road was always there.
Right.
The road was always there. In fact, I don't know when the road was built because although I live here 20-odd years, I don't know when I come. The road was there.
Right.
And, the odd times, people go to walk there, but it's not a place where people have dealings with. But this gentleman now has built a block of flats, a block of apartments, and then there's a local man living at the bottom down there anyway, and he has been there, as he told me, 30 odd years. And he, but this entrepreneur investor is now claiming that nobody must pass there, and I didn't look as a student. So I said, well, what does a student look like? I was properly dressed. I was in my gardening clothes, true, but, I don't know that I could be prevented from walking in Grenada, not a private estate or anything. I was of the opinion, but you can't get any word from anybody to tell you. I phoned the planning, they don't know. I don't know who knows. But I find that is very disturbing.
Understood. Thank you so much.
Right.
All right. Let me see how I can. There are a lot of roads, places, communities that we are not aware are private property / areas. I'm not saying this one in particular. However, I understand that there are areas in that general true blue area, specifically after you pass the roundabout leading to the university. Square about, not square, triangle about, leading to the university. That area can be deemed privately owned because of who has purchased what and what has purchased whom. Now that specific road, that if I'm picturing the correct road, it is possible that the road is a private road. Possible that the road is a private road. One, it is in close proximity to the university, and the home that the gentleman lives, the local person that lives, as you said, about 30 years, I am not sure if he's the one that officially opened the road or what, and so on and so forth. So it's I would encourage you to verify and find out specifically. I don't know where to tell you to find out from, because the people who should know told you they're not aware. But it's a possibility, because I know there are some private areas specifically in that True Blue community. So you could just verify this information. Just verify. Okay, let me go back to WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, some people have no respect for law and order, yet they hold position to abide by the law. Up to now, the container is still at Mount Rush. The builder built the road around it. So tell me, is the police afraid of the owner? Is the powers that be afraid of the owner? How long will that piece of road take to deteriorate? We need action. We need taxpayers money spent wisely. Charge the owner. Come on, Mr. Martin. Use your power invested to you. Get out. It's an eyesore, plus it's a hindrance for proper road maintenance. Minister Nolan Cox and your PS, do your jobs. It was on Friday at Parliament sitting that the opposition leader and parliamentary representative for St. George North East, Tobias Clement, addressed that same container in Mount Rush situation. So now that it has gotten to Parliament and maybe just got Parliament's attention, let's hope that something will be done with it sooner rather than later. Friday today was, so let's say 2 working days. So hopefully the powers that be will pay attention. Okay, let me go to Facebook. Somebody on Facebook says, it seems like we continue to attract the wrong set of investors, Mr. Bernard, over and over and over again. Another Facebooker says, have we been attracting pure convestors, if you ask? Convestors, if you ask me. And another Facebooker says, what one is, they will attract likewise. If you are a dog, you will attract other dogs. All right. Back on phone lines? Right. Back on WhatsApp. Somebody says, I would like to hear Citizen Rolo explain the situation about Parliament. My beef is you're inviting people into your country only to insult them. Other prospective investors, or watching and listening? Good morning, caller.
Yes, good morning.
Morning.
Just a clarification as regards that road I'm making response and questioning the True Blue area there.
Yes, please. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Now, historically, this road was constructed during 1969. 69, 67, 69, died during when they had the Expo 69. And this road is a low road. You have to get in contact with the people in the Land and Survey Department in the Ministry of Agriculture. People who is in the planning division doesn't know head or tail of what is going on there. So just to make you aware that what you are saying there is not correct.
Understood.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I remember I didn't say I know for sure. I just said investigate, I mean. All right, Facebook. Well, thanks for the information, caller. Facebook. Somebody says we're perfectly right to use the word white in the Fort Judy issue because the perpetrator was said to be South African. The Jews don't forget the history. Why should we? Look at how we are treated by police in the US and the UK. WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, did the gentleman build the road? Oh, and that's not in the last caller. That's in relation to the person that told the previous caller that the road was private, not the last caller. Did the gentleman build the road? No, he didn't. I know that road was open for a little while. Okay, we're almost ready for a break. Somebody says, no one owns land. It belongs to the Almighty. We are all family. Let's stop the fighting and share the love. No one goes with anything. Let's love each other. Back on Facebook landline. Right. Back on Facebook, the Prime Minister's statement in Parliament could have serious implications for the country. It was condescending behavior and it was atrocious. This is a diplomatic row, and that should have been handled by Foreign Affairs and not by the PM washing his dirty linens in public. All right, on that note, let's take a quick break and come back and continue with Open Line Tuesday here on To The Point. We'll be right back.
Do you hear what I hear? Listen to the ocean, and you will hear a cry for help. The ocean is hurting, and we are the source of the hurt. But we can stop and start to heal our ocean by preventing pollution from getting into our waterways. It can start with you. Join an active organization, or better yet, make a personal commitment. Commit not for just one day in the year, but for the rest of your life. Let's dispose of our plastic and other waste responsibly, and let's start building resilience. Let the healing begin.
This message is brought to you by the OECS Commission with funding from the Government of Norway. Remlit, tackling ocean pollution from tooth to surf.
GBN Television News at 7, a pulse on all things Grenadian. Look out for our new features through expanded synergies with our media partners in Barbados, St. Lucia, Jamaica, Trinidad, and beyond. Capturing the latest in news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Credible, informative. Thank you for making us number one. News at 7, live, Monday to Friday on GBN Television, Channel 7 and 11. K105.5 and 105.9, Hot 98.5 and 98.7, GBN Television Facebook page and YouTube channel, and www.gbn.gd. GBN, with you anywhere and everywhere.
Grenada's Chief Medical Officer has ordered that all confirmed positive COVID-19 individuals, their contacts, and members of their household must remain in quarantine or isolation for 14 days. Anyone who fails to comply with this order will be in breach of the Public Health COVID-19 Regulations 2020 and is guilty of an offense. Upon summary conviction, that person will be liable to a penalty of up to $10,000. A message from the Ministry of Health.
Welcome back to The Point. It is Tuesday, May 25th. We've had a last-minute cancellation from our scheduled guest, so it's Open Line Tuesday here on the program, where we give our viewers and listeners an opportunity to share anything that they'd like to. The landline number, once again, 435-2041. The WhatsApp number, it's also 435-2041. Please, only written messages on WhatsApp, and you continue to post your comments, questions, queries, concerns on the GBN Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page and the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel. Back to the phone lines. Morning, caller.
Good morning, my dear.
Morning, how you do?
I'm doing great. How was your weekend? It was a long weekend.
It was great.
Blossom, hearing all the different things that I'm hearing there from people. I didn't listen to this parliament thing. Believe me, I didn't want to listen. Because some things you hear and some things you know by the Spirit is contrary. So sometimes you better not listen. All I want to do is to advise Grenadians. What we are facing, we have reached a stage in our life in the world where God is doing something new. God is trying to bring his people to cleanliness, to prepare themselves for his coming. And God is going to destroy some things. He's going to create some things. He's going to straighten out some things. And he's going to level out some things. What people need to do now is the time, as according to the word, prepare to meet your God. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. But man think they make it, they think they own it, and it's who they want to live on the earth. You have people who say, oh, the world had too much people, you have to kill out some, so they come with a pandemic to kill out 3 million. Well, they don't get it as fast as they want it, so they prolong it. Anyway, I want to advise us as Grenadians to look at what has happened to us concerning this COVID. God is the one who has saved us. Nobody in Grenada contracted and died from this thing, so we have to give him praise, not the government. The government can't do it. If it was left to the government, they had already expanded the cemetery, and there's two funeral agencies expanded their business, their holding capacity. So they expected thousands to die. But God has saved us. It's not the government, not man. God has delivered us. And we need to give God thanks, we need to give God praise, and we need to change our ways of living and turn to God, because the end is coming. And when the time comes, who not ready will be left behind. So this is a time that Grenadians need to get ready to meet God and stop fighting about God's world. Thank you, darling. Have a blessed day.
Thanks. You enjoy your day as well. Let me go back on Facebook. Somebody on Facebook says, agreeing with a previous comment in relation to the Prime Minister's statement in Parliament. The person said it was not very diplomatic and it could have serious implications as a country going forward. Another Facebooker, the Prime Minister using the term white man is well in place. He is a white man. The investor is a white man. To be calling on a black population to get rid of a black leader. He wants to use black people as his slave whip, and he should be called out, a white man. Let me go to WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, could one or all of the strikes have something to do with the activity similar to the shrimp farm project? In fact, the Prime Minister did say that he didn't want another shrimp farm episode and even mentioned an audit being conducted. Don't be misled. Another WhatsApper says, I find foreigners buying out we land and now putting restrictions on Grenadians. Our land should not be sold to foreigners. It can be leased. And who give them the authority to block Grenadians from passing, taking over roads, areas of the beaches? We go sorry. All right, landline. All right, somebody on WhatsApp. The truth hurts. It's judgment time. What happens in the dark must come to light. Is the Almighty's time for freedom. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Blossom. How are you doing?
I'm good. How you do?
Yeah, Blossom, I haven't collected my price yet, but what we're going to get into is what do you know what the role of those what do you call them, Imani police, they call them what, traffic wardens are, because it does seem that they are able to in dealing with the public, be able to help them to be more disciplined. So what is their role really? And The other thing I want to say is that Mr. Bernard mentioned something there, which I think we need to look at, because was it Mr. Bernard? Somebody mentioned something about what is happening in Parliament and laws being, and you said that they go to the Senate. But is that so? Because a lot of bills have been passed, and we hear them discussed in the Parliament, in the lower house. But do we really hear them when they go to the Senate? I'm not too sure. So we need to. That is something we need to look at. And finally, with the coming of TGM, a lot of people seem to have problems with that. But I guess the rise of TGM is based on what is happening with the main opposition party, the National Democratic Congress. And so if it is because there is a void that TGM seems to be coming in. So let all Grenadians look at, because we recognize that the present administration is not taking us anywhere. So there has to be an alternative. Have a good day.
Thank you very much. You have yourself a good day as well. In relation to the Parliament Senate, the bills in Parliament are discussed in Senate. At least I've heard them being discussed in Senate. I follow, granted not every minute of all sittings, but I follow most of it, and sometimes I just look at the order paper to see what's down on the order paper to be discussed and the bills to be tabled and so on and so forth. And I've seen them showing up in both places, at least down for discussions. Facebook. All right, a long comment on Facebook. Okay. Last Parliament, the Prime Minister sounded angry because the ambassador for Miami said the Prime Minister is a spoiler of investors, and I don't know what nerve he pinched in the Prime Minister. But as a Prime Minister, whatever you spoke, words matter. Whenever you speak, words matter. So when the Prime Minister addressed an ambassador of Grenada, that white man can come and tell us what to do, unquote, I think the Prime Minister is rude and will wait for Parliament to lambaste individuals who don't agree with him. If we want to open for tourism, it's the same white people we depend on to bring foreign currency into our economy. I think the PM needs to apologize to Grenada and tourism sector in Parliament. The Prime Minister has to know his place. He can't go to the people's house where he should be doing the people's business and not insulting Grenadians or foreigners. I think the PM went too far this time, and if he's tired of running the country, he should call an early election where he will be lost because Grenadians looking for an alternative in a new leader. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
I'm calling from quarantine, just arrived in Grenada.
I'm sorry, caller. Could you just turn the volume down on either the TV or the radio, whichever one you're listening to the program on? You'll hear me through the phone.
Yeah, I'm calling from quarantine location, and I was very impressed with the robust quarantine effort and the way Grenada handled the whole COVID epidemic. And I would really like to see the country the same comes to fighting cancer. I think the cancer situation facing Grenada is as dangerous with the situation. Every day, another young Grenadian woman is dying of cancer, and I think Grenada need to develop some kind of education approach, a more robust to taking on the challenge of fighting cancer here in Grenada, especially among young women. And I just want to figure out how you feel about that.
I had a little trouble hearing you because you're breaking up a little bit. But you wanted to hear how I feel about people doing what they need to fight cancer?
Well, the country is facing a real tough situation when it comes to cancer among young women. There is an epidemic of young Grenadian women. There was a doctor in New York who recently did a report for Carib News, and he said he was alarmed by the number of young women that is coming to the U.S. from cancer, coming to the King's County hospitals. And I think the epidemic of cancer in Grenada is as dangerous as the COVID epidemic. And I think it's time that the government takes a more robust approach and to address it with education, prevention, because most of the women who died of cancer here, they found out when it was any kind of medical. Could handle the epidemic in such a professional manner and the way it did. Why can't it be towards committing that terror?
Okay, Colin, you're still breaking up, but I think I got the gist of what you're saying and asking. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
And continue to stay safe in quarantine.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. I do agree with you that we need to be placing more focus on cancer awareness, preventative measures, and so what I disagree with is that the government needs to step up. I think there's a wealth of information out there that we each can research on our own and get the information that we need. We need to learn our family histories. That's an important part of fighting cancer. Know if your family has a history of it, your medical history. We need to do our own research, be careful of what we eat. We can't depend on government to do everything, especially when it comes to our health in situations like this. But I do agree that we need to pay attention to more of how we can help prevent / heal to a certain extent if we are afflicted with cancer. Most over the past, I think it's been most prevalent over the past year, 2 years, of the number of young people that have been dying. I'm seeing people in the obituaries in their 20s, in their 30s, early 40s, and about half, 50% of them are some form of cancer. And I'm not sure if people are not paying attention, if they're afraid to go get tested or whatever it may be, especially our men where it relates to prostate cancer. I understand how invasive the prostate check can be, but a little 5 minutes of discomfort can save your life. And it's something that we really need to pay attention to. And I agree with you, Colin, that we need to place more emphasis on doing research, getting educated, and taking preventative measures, but we need to take personal responsibility. There are a lot of different cancers out there: breast, prostate, ovarian, blood cancers, leukemia, aka leukemia, and other forms of cancer that we really need to pay attention to. And the onus is on us to educate ourselves, not on the powers that be. There's only so much they can do, and they can pelt out as much information as they want to, but if we don't take heed, then it's falling on deaf ears. WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, I want to zero in on Carriacou and PG Martinique. We heard about the project in Dumfries, Carriacou, which we will see the beautiful colors and buildings well constructed with the 2 Facebook ministers boasting about. But what they never told us about the ongoing water issue that's a problem in Carriacou. How will they get water to supply the projects? They build a project without people knowing how will they get water to the projects. So now when you get into the building, you will have to buy a water tank, everyone to supply water for use. Which means the Chinese gave us a building and we have to figure out how we will get water, and boasting how great is the project without water supplies. Why we keep walking backwards and saying we're going forward on what the criteria to get into that no water project. I just picked up. That's in relation to the housing project. So are you saying, WhatsApper, that there is no water supplied to the homes / apartments / building? That's what I'm getting from your comment on WhatsApp. I would have to investigate. All right, let me go back by Facebook before I go back by the landline. Somebody on Facebook says, Grenadians like to sit and allow the Prime Minister to do whatever he wants to do. Grenada wants to do with Grenada and say nothing until after the fact. Okay. Somebody on Facebook in relation to the road in True Blue, somebody says the road was built by the Venezuelans. That road is not a private road. All right, back to the landline. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm good. How you do?
I'm fine, thank you.
All right, go right ahead.
Okay, what I'm calling to report, on Sunday morning, the gospel program that usually comes in start from 7 a.m. to about 9 with the Brethren Hour. That whole 2 or 3 hours was really chaotic. It was a mess.
On Classic or the gospel station?
No, Classic. Right, the station I'm speaking on.
All right, okay,
Yes. I know that usually Donald Thomas usually do it, and he does a fantastic job. But he wasn't there on Sunday, and I am not sure if somebody knew he put the program for him. But to me, that person, they mess it up. Because while the pastor was preaching, there was music playing whole time. Then when the Brethren Hour comes on for 9, you're getting 2 messages. The same person preaching, but it's 2 messages at the same time.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
Not good at all.
Okay, so I would
just look into it and maybe.
Yes, I will.
The person who hold on for Donnell, maybe you could tell it. Maybe it's news.
I will find out and see what happened.
Right,
Thank you so
but
much.
This Sunday gone.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, have a blessed day.
You too.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Let me see if there's any comment on YouTube. Okay, YouTubers. Somebody on YouTube says government cannot do everything for the people. They have to do for themselves. Another not Facebook, YouTuber says preventative measures often shared with doctors on call. Each person must educate themselves. Government can do everything, and that's in relation to cancer education. Somebody else says, whoa, Helicobacter pylori causes cancer, stomach cancer, contamination of your drinking water. Roundup fertilizer causes cancer. I have seen that report of the fertilizer. All right, let me go back by Facebook. A lot of comments to wade through this morning. I'm trying to get to as many as I possibly can. Let me go on Facebook. Somebody says, I am calling for a little respect for Dummy James. He may have begged sometimes, but also worked for his money too. That's from a comment from Parliament Friday. Let me go by WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says the Prime Minister should realize he did the transaction with the shrimp farm, fowl farm call center, and most viable businesses are run by white people. So this race fight down by the Prime Minister is gross. He sold our passports to them. They have legal citizenship here. That particular man is investing millions so Grenada can attract visitors and get jobs. So he is wrong, and wrong is wrong. Time for him to think before he speaks. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm good.
I called GB and I think it was on Friday. I think and I shared my views about the people that left NNP and go to NDC and they attacking Patrick and say he was on NNP platform.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't know if Patrick was a member of the NNP. I knew he was on the platform. But then you have executive member, one of the youngest executive member of NNP, who used to be with Kit Mitchell night and day, joining the NDC, right? And he's lambasting people that were in NNP. You find that make any sense? Or there was a part of NNP, so they do good. And you were there. You were a youngest executive member. Now you're on the radio getting a free meal, and you're trying to bring down people's character now because why you're getting a free meal. Come on, brother. People wise up and stop letting people make all you a fool. He was the youngest executive member. He was closer than Kim Mitchell than anybody else. Patrick was on the platform. You know? Patrick is a good brother. You understand? So have a nice day.
Thank you very much. You enjoy your day as well. I just see people evolve all the time, so you shouldn't expect somebody to be the same place/person they were 5-10 years ago. Facebook, we are slowly, surely being boxed into our country. Lands close to our beaches are being sold and no allowed road is available for locals to access beaches and historic sites. Soon we will lose our way of life That is recreation. Whose job is it to protect citizens? Do we have to fight for our rights again like our foreparents did? Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Morning.
I find it disgusting, unhinged, ridiculous, unstatesmanlike, but then nobody never accused Dr. Mitchell of being a statesman. His statement in Parliament about people not looking like us. We live among people who do not look like us. For example, the Chinese who do all kind of things, they do not look like us. People in Parliament do not look like us. As a matter of fact, Mr. Simon still don't even sound like us. We have no problem with people who do not look like us. We have problem with people who probably don't like us or who don't deal with us properly. This race thing and this thing about people, for example, Mr. Boris Johnson, who we email or whatever and beg for us to put us on the green list. He does not look like us. The people in the IMF and all kind of thing who give us grants and all things, they do not look like us. This stupid, that was the most stupid, most unhinged, sometimes I think that the Prime Minister is losing it or maybe have lost it. We deserve an apology. Everyone deserves an apology. He needs to come publicly and apologize for such a statement. He probably lost it at the moment. I hope he's not suffering with anything that make him lose it periodically or most of the time. But it is the nastiest, stupidest, silliest thing I've ever heard coming from a Prime Minister, one who boasts that he has been in the Parliament for 36 years. One would think he would acquire some class, some suave, and some manners. It is disgusting. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's almost time to end the program. Let me see if I can get to some final comments. Let me go back on. No new comments on YouTube, Facebook. Somebody on Facebook says, Dr. Mitchell, you do what you have to, sir. Everyone wouldn't like you no matter what you do. Look at Jesus Christ. All what he did, they still crucified him. All right, let me go back on WhatsApp. What you would like to see happen is a mini forest. What I would like to see happen is a mini forest at the stadium cleanup. That's at the Chinese place. It's not looking good. That's our national stadium, so treat it as one. Mini forest. Another WhatsApper. If this present administration remains in power, Grenada will pay heavy for its treatment of WRB and Rex Grenadian. Under the Biden government, Grenada and the Caribbean will be held under close scrutiny than the unstable Trump administration. Back on WhatsApp. I only have time for social media at the moment. They're almost succinct. Somebody on Facebook. We all have to take and pay more attention to our own health. Okay, somebody else on Facebook. Grenada's parliament is not the people's house. Instead, it is the NNP's house. That is why the PM can say what he wants in there. All right, back on WhatsApp. Last two comments that I can read. WhatsApper says, stop. I love to hear the rise in consciousness. That was the best thing I ever heard the Prime Minister say. I am fed up of the curse these people have over us black people. Common in Grenadian. Rise up and come on, Grenadians, rise up and trample the dragons in all its forms. Tourism is our downfall. Rise up in the first culture, agriculture. I would like for the police department to be firm on the people who park their vehicles blocking the entire sidewalk and have pedestrians going the road to get by. This definitely needs to be addressed immediately. I agree. All right, and the last comment on Facebook. I am hearing about a TGM organization, which is not a political party, and having NDC supporters getting all worked up. NDC received 20,000 votes and will have to work harder to get the independent voters, plus the young people who have been bribed the last day before election. So stop worrying and register young voters to win the next election. All right, that's all the time we have for Open Line Tuesday on the program. There are still some comments on WhatsApp that I haven't gotten to as yet. Maybe we'll have time to share it with you during Talk to Things this Thursday, God willing. So let's see what happens for the rest of the week. That's the end of my time today. I'll be back tomorrow morning, God willing. Joseph is up next with the mid-morning buzz. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Have yourselves a blessed rest of the day.